Hello, it's Sean Zinn, the Connection Machine, aka the Insurance Doctor. This is live number 26 on the year, and I have a treat. I have a great friend of mine that we're going to drop some golden nuggets you're going to learn from. A couple housekeeping rules. I want you to engage. I would love for you to drop comments, drop a hashtag live. Don't just watch us. That's great. If you're going to watch us, that's fine, but actually engage us. We want to have more people that will start implementing some of the ideas, the strategies that we go over in our talk today. So make sure that you hashtag live if you're watching live, hashtag replay on the replay. And where are you watching us from? Drop that in the comments below. When I bring on my guests, I would love for you to listen, learn, and just sit back and enjoy the next half hour. We're going to be done at 11. So it's something that's short, sweet, lots of value, lots of consistency. You're going to see some different things that other people that I share, you're going to see what they share. And let me bring on my guest, Tracie Randolph. How are you?
Hey, I am great. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. Thanks so much for spending some time with me today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
I love going over, I can give you an introduction, but I love when I hear it directly from the source because it's more, I love watching and reading body, language, the passion that comes through when people introduce themselves. So I would love for you to give us, who is Tracie Randolph?
Oh, wow. Okay. Who am I? Hey, guys. I am Tracie Randolph, better known as the Reset Coach. I am a health coach, a life coach, a personal trainer, an author, a speaker, and a television show host of a show called Femme Talk. So that is me in a nutshell. But I became passionate about health and wellness after my own battle with breast cancer and really just doing some research and trying to figure out, okay, what's going on with my body, looking at nutrition and exercise. And I actually fell in love with it. So it was really, it was a blessing in disguise, really.
You said a wealth of information right there as far as what you're involved in, a couple of the whys. There's some areas on this show. It's called the Connection Conversation Show. We want to get into and get connected with people emotionally, go deep with people, not just the surface information. So you shared a lot of information right there. Can we talk about breast cancer? What was happening? How did you find out? You're a very positive person. How do you keep that going?
Yeah. Okay. So it was kind of like a fluke almost, finding out, because I was in the shower, had a pain in my right breast, and just said, okay, that felt awkward. What is going on? So, took the precaution, went to my doctor, said something is happening, not really sure what. And he was like, oh, I don't think there's anything for you to worry about, but, let's get you into getting a mammogram and see what's going on. Got my first mammogram, and they're like, okay, we don't really know exactly what's happening. We have to send you for a more detailed mammogram. So went in, and I'm still thinking, like, you talk about that positivity, right? I'm like, there's nothing's going to be wrong. It's all going to be okay. My doctor's like, pain is not normal with breast cancer, really, if it's in the early stages. So, I don't think it's going to be anything. So I was just thinking, okay, this is just routine test that we're doing just to make sure. And, they ended up saying, okay, we see something there. We want you to go in for biopsies. And there was 2 different tumors in different locations. So they're like, we have to schedule you for 2 different biopsies. So I went in for the first biopsy. My mom went with me. I had my support there. And I'm still thinking, okay, this is going to be nothing. So by the time I had to go in for the second biopsy, I didn't have any results yet. And I was thinking, okay, this is nothing, like nothing's gonna happen. So I went by myself. I'm like, I don't need any support because nothing's gonna be wrong with me, right? And I went in for the second biopsy, and they told me that the first was positive for cancer. And immediately, I just went numb, to be perfectly honest with you. I didn't have anybody there. And as they're doing the second biopsy, you have to lay still, and the tears are streaming down my face, and I'm laying still trying to focus. And then, hey, Tamara, I'm laying still trying to focus. She's actually a part of my story too, but I'm laying still trying to focus. And the nurse is just rubbing my arm. And I'm like, oh my God, just, what is happening here and how, I'm like, I I'm not a smoker. I'm not a heavy drinker. Like, what is going on? Why did my body accept cancer? And I'm going to pull Tamara into this story, actually, because I told you I didn't go there with my mom this time, but as I'm walking out of the hospital, Tamara and I are connected, and she called me and she's like, what's going on? How are you doing? It's like she felt something. And I'm like, immediately, like tears running down my face again. And I'm like, telling her what's going on. And she's like, just breathe and relax. Like, you're going to get through this. And, that positivity came through as well, through her. And I'm like, okay, what do I do now? What do I do? So, I went into research mode because I'm just that type of person. I'm like, I need to figure this out. What's going on? Like, there's no way that I have cancer. Like, how did this happen? So I'm like, I got to figure this thing out. But before the cancer, Sean, this was like around the time of Hurricane Sandy. And I actually had this experience happen where God really showed up in a big way during Hurricane Sandy. I didn't connect it to breast cancer at the time because I'm like, I just thought he was telling me that everything was going to be all right. I was actually praying for my neighbor's tree not to fall. And it was like this peace came over my house. My house was illuminated. And it was like he was telling me, I'm there for you. And I really didn't connect it to the breast cancer. But when I thought about it later, I'm like, he was really telling me I'm there for you for this experience. Even though that tree didn't fall, that tree's still there, actually, to this day. And it's a tree that you could see it's sick, but it's still standing. But I said, okay, like, God, this is yours. This is not really mine. Like, you told me you were there for me. Once I got myself together and just prayed and you told me you were there for me, you showed up. I know that I'm going to get through this and I'm going to give it to you. I went to church the next Sunday and I prayed on the altar and I decided that I was going to lay it there. Like, he told me he was there. I'm just going to lay it there. And that's really what I did. And I just continued to go into research mode and started researching nutrition and, exercise and how it helps your body, and just fell in love with it and decided to sign up for a health coaching certification. And that's really it in a nutshell, so to speak.
I appreciate you being very personal. You're very authentic. And I'm glad you brought that up because I talk about things like my daughter going through a liver transplant, and people are like, I can't share things about my personal life on my social media. And I'm like, why? The more that people understand what you've gone through, they know you're not going to BS them on whatever you're selling. If we're talking about sales, I'd rather know what people are, and I'd rather buy from somebody that's been authentic with me, that's being real. And that is something that's refreshing, and I appreciate you sharing that. And it's important. And Tamara's awesome. She's a great person as well.
Yes, she is.
The ability to, give that information emotionally and telling people, that's how important, I believe, is telling your story and not being afraid to tell your story. And because people go through things, and you are helping others by sharing what you've gone through and where you are now. And then it opened up a business. And if we talk about what is being an entrepreneur for you, can you explain that? How is that, the day, because you were in corporate now and then you left. So now can you talk about the differences that now you're going through?
Yeah. So let me tell you that story. That's a part of that whole bigger story too. And I really say that breast cancer was a part of that plan as well. I love Tamara. That's my cousin. I love her. So the entrepreneurial part of my story, I guess, was part of the bigger plan too, because I was in corporate America saying that I was tired and I needed a break. And I was working in financial services and private equity. And, if you guys know that industry out there, it's pretty grueling. It's very demanding. And I was tired. And I kept saying, I need a break. I need a break. Well, my break came in the form of breast cancer. Again, another blessing, which is how I started doing health coaching part-time after I had gone through my certification and everything. And I had gone through this other program that just kind of made me look at my life differently, called Transform Her, through an organization called Women Empowered International. And I really was thinking like, okay, God, you are really setting me up for something here. What am I supposed to be doing here? And don't get me wrong, I had a great time in corporate. I made a lot of good money. I met a lot of great people. But at the same time, I didn't have any real purpose there. I wasn't helping anybody. So really what entrepreneurship brought to me is some meaning, because I'm actually doing something that's helping people. It's meaningful for people's lives. And I didn't really feel like I was doing that in corporate. as good as it was to me, I just wasn't doing anything meaningful. So now COVID and in COVID, so I stayed in corporate America for a while,
Hmm.
7 years actually, right? The number of completion, think about that. But I stayed 7 years and did coaching part time. And then I decided during COVID that I was leaving. I was like, I've had enough. This is it. I need to do what I'm really called to do, what I'm purposed to do, what's really meaningful for me. And I really need to just make that shift and really get out there and help people change their lives. And COVID was another just reality check when it comes to health and wellness, right? Like you think about what was happening over the past year and a half and how we were losing people. And really, it was a virus where if people were really taking care of themselves up front, some of it could have been prevented. I'm not going to say all of it, but some of it could have been prevented. So it really made it a lot more meaningful. What I'm doing now made it a lot more meaningful.
No, thank you. And those that are watching, if you're watching on my personal page or Tracie's, say hello. If you're watching from the group Connection Machine, make sure you allow StreamYard. If you have to approve, so you can have your information shown on the screen. And if you're watching from YouTube, say hello as well. We definitely want to have lots of engagement. And if you're watching, please share, share, share. Hit that share button. Help others by giving the information, the content that we're sharing with you today. Now, being a coach, going from corporate America, now you're the entrepreneur, you wake up every single day. Are you one that just wakes up and you have a schedule throughout your day? Or are you just hey, I'm just going to wing it today and just see what happens?
You can't wing it when you're an entrepreneur. I've definitely found that out. I will say when I started part-time, I was winging it a little bit because I was dealing with, just the craziness of corporate. But now, and even when I was in corporate, I still had my own like healthy regimen that I did in the morning, right? I have my own schedule, my own things that I do in the morning, but I really continued that. And now I get up and I do fitness classes in the morning with people virtually. So it's even more motivation to get up and just get moving and do what I need to do. So yeah, no, I have a schedule, and I've actually learned to use this wonderful device, right? Like almost every minute is scheduled out in my phone now. So yeah, I've adapted those rules, but it works out really well.
It's something that a lot of people use the phone calendar. Some people I use the old school calendar. I write things down because I like crossing things out and seeing it. I love the phone. You can have, appointment reminders, and you have notifications that pop up. And it's so key to make sure you have that time in your day. Now, is there, does business just come to you, or are you doing things to make that happen? What are some things that you're doing to generate leads? And no matter what business people are in, I know people are watching. Tamara's in real estate, Sean's in real estate. We have a couple other people popping on. How are you generating leads?
So with connections like this, for one, just networks that I've been involved in over the course of the years, right? Because I've always stayed connected with people in different industries. So staying connected that way. And then now I'm doing, Facebook ads, and I do that stuff as well. So, from any angle, to be perfectly honest with you, if I could touch a life from any angle, I'm going to do it. And I love the networking opportunities. I love the events. I love, things like this. I have so many different groups that I'm involved in just because I love to connect with people. So that's really been the bigger part of the business, to be perfectly honest with you. I just started the Facebook ads and started learning about that. So that's really new for me.
But doing the networking, that's no matter what business people are in. You having conversations with others, you're going to basically build your own sales force out there. That's what I've done for my insurance business. People know that if they need insurance, my name usually is top of mind because I've had so many conversations and I'm always helping others. And just like you said before, you love helping others, and that's how it goes. The more you're helping, now people in your community start reaching out and telling your story, telling things about you, and people already will know you before they get to know you because of what you put out there as far as your brand. How did you come up with the name Reset Coach?
That's a good one. I started I started coaching women in the organization that I was telling you about, Women Empowered International, and that was just something that came up because I kept telling them, don't worry about what you didn't do yesterday. Every day is an opportunity for you to reset, and it just really became my mantra. And I'm like, bing, that's that's who I am, right? But it really just came up naturally as I was talking to people, and a lot of times people beat themselves up for what they didn't do. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. Yesterday's done. So you now have to focus on today and fix today. So that's really how it came up. I just kept telling people, reset, reset. And if you think about resetting, think about hitting that reset button. You know how Staples used to have that easy button.
Yes.
Like, well, if you have a reset button, hit that reset button and just move forward.
I like that. And that keeps it positive. You know that, yeah, you might have had a horrible day, a couple days, maybe a week, a month, things happen, but you also can just start over the next day. And that's something that will help you with mindset. And if we talk about mindset, I love talking about mindset because I know I start my day off with doing motivation. I want to make sure people are motivated. And I want people to have that good start to their morning. Because if I can motivate myself, which is why I do it, I want to be very consistent, but I want to motivate others. The more that I'm motivating, they're going to think about me on the emotional level. It's not me selling anything. I want to be connected to you, but I also want to be friends with you, and we want to grow together. Because I believe in the abundance mindset, that there's enough business for everyone out there.
That's right.
But there's others that have that limiting beliefs that, I don't know, they're not going to be successful. So you have to really, change your mindset. How have you, anything you want to share on the mindset topic?
Yeah, so I love what you said because I start my morning that way too. I have a journal, I have my affirmations in there, and they change, and it's built around my life and what's happening in my life. But I always start them out with "I'm so happy and grateful for," and it's not only affirmations; it's affirmations with manifestation connected to it too, because I just call out, what I'm expecting in my life. I believe in speaking those things out loud, so I do start out with that. Then I move on to reading something in a book. I'm actually reading over The Purpose-Driven Life now because I read it years ago. I've had the book for years, and before I moved, I found the book, right? And I just decided that I was going to read it again because when I read it years ago, I wasn't quote unquote woke. You know what I mean? Like I really wasn't aware of what it really all meant. So I'm like, I'm just going to go back and read that. So I'm reading that one now. But I like to read as well. So I start off with reading, like a chapter or so in a book every morning. And then I get on my fitness classes in the morning, and that gets my blood pumping, gets me going. And I have to honestly say, like, that is something that I freakishly love, to be perfectly honest with you. I put a video out there yesterday because I worked out 5 times yesterday. And it may sound crazy, but I really freakishly love to work out. So I did 3 classes, right? And then I went out with my significant other and we worked out outside. And then later on, my son said he wanted to go to the gym. So I went with him and I worked out. But I love it. I absolutely love it.
Well, you said something before about the changing of a lifestyle. That's the difference. You're not just working out. If we're talking about real estate, you're not just making phone calls. It's part of your business. You like it. It's your lifestyle. So if you change that mindset of, hey, I love working out. I enjoy working out as well. And going back to even COVID, like you said, if people really took their health seriously, they wouldn't have been as jeopardized as if, God forbid, they picked and got the virus. So getting yourself in shape has so many positive things that you get from it. It's a stress reliever. You're going to have more confidence because you feel better, because you look better. It's all good things that come with working out. Are you into weightlifting, or are you into just doing ton of calisthenics? Are you into what kind of programs are you sharing?
Yeah, calisthenics is my favorite, to be honest with you. But cardio, calisthenics, a little weights. I don't do super heavy weights. Honestly, even though my goal is to start lifting a little bit more because I do want to build more muscle. But calisthenics and cardio are really my favorites, but a little mix, a little yoga's mixed in there sometimes, but they're the bigger part. Calisthenics and cardio are the bigger part. Some resistance though. Definitely got to incorporate the resistance for sure.
I know a
So
lot
I
of
actually
people.
just got new resistance bands, which I love too. So yeah, but definitely got to incorporate the strength and resistance training as well.
I mean, for those watching, just doing something to get yourself moving is
Yeah.
so important. No matter if you're overweight, you have
Hmm.
some medical issues, do something that you're allowed to and you're going to be consistent with. You know, if
Yeah.
it's walking every day, if it's a
Even
bike ride, whatever. If you don't have, if you want to go up and down stairs, as long as you're doing something,
that's right.
it's important. And then you start adding that resistance with the bands, with the weight,
That's
etc.
right.
That's a key thing I found. Having something that you're going to be consistent with. What makes
Hmm.
you be so consistent? I know we talked about with having breast cancer, but what sparks it? Why do you love it so much?
When I wake up on those days where I say to myself, "Oh, I really don't feel like doing it," after the workout, I always feel so much better. So that's what I think about, how I feel, like the energy that I have. Just, I feel like, it's almost like you can feel the blood pumping through your body. You know what I mean? It's just, it energizes me and it makes me feel better. So even on those days where I get up and I just don't want to do it, because I do have those days, even though I love it, I just say, you know what, let me just do it. And then once I do, I feel good. So that's the motivation, really, because I know what's on the other side of it. And then I just think about what it really does for your body. Like, you build your immune system exercising, you know what I mean? It helps you to sleep better. There's so many benefits, and everything that we should be doing when it comes to our health, they're all so intertwined and interconnected, like exercise and sleep and drinking water and, nutrition. Like, they're all so interconnected and they all have some of the same great benefits on your body. So when I think about it from that perspective, and then knowing where I came from and not wanting to go back there, because I always say, I'm cancer free. I don't like to say I'm in remission. I don't even like to necessarily say I'm a survivor. I am cancer free, and that's what I'm sticking to. So if I decide and I choose to live a lifestyle that's going to help me stay that way, that's my motivation as well. Like, I just don't want to go back to that place. And I want to help people be preventative and proactive. Like, I don't want people to get to the place that I got to, because I was always thin. And I used to equate thin with healthy. So obviously, for everybody out there, thin does not equate to healthy. And I am a living example of that. So I want people to really be proactive and do the things up front so that they don't have to get to some diagnosis like cancer or diabetes or heart disease, the things that are really affecting people out there in a big way in this country. I really want them to think about, okay, let me protect my health up front. I mean, we don't have control over life, right? But we do have control over how we choose to live our lives to help mitigate some of the things that we can try to avoid. So I really want people to think about that and just be proactive.
Love it, guys. You heard it. She loves working out, but there's days that she doesn't. And I want you guys to understand that you have to do things sometimes that you don't want to do. But once you push through, the energy that you get,
Yeah.
the success that you feel, that's a key thing that you got to make sure you keep pushing through, no matter what. Because when you start something, guys, you want to finish it. And Tracie's a coach. She wants to make sure that people stay on track. You hold people accountable. These are things that you need. A lot of people think, I don't need a coach. I can do it on my own. But just like Tracie said, maybe there's days, what are you going to do on the days you don't want to work out, days you don't want to make phone calls, days you don't want to prospect? You need somebody to hold you accountable. And that's why how important having a coach is to have in your corner.
That's right. I agree with that. And we need coaches for, different facets of our life. Like, I have coaches for other reasons as well, but you need people for that. I mean, listen to the people that are doing it, right? And who are experts in their fields, and learn from them and grow and get that support that you need just to be successful and to be fulfilled in your life.
Can we go into, a lot of people hear the word life coach, but they don't know what it is. They're like, what is it? Can you go and give us a little, teaser of what a life coach is?
Yeah, it's really a person to help you navigate through the things that you really want to do in your life, and help you explore, what's holding you back, what you're successful in, what you need to do better with. That's really what a life coach is. It's a person that helps you navigate. It helps you to really think about the things that you really want and really put the goals in place and go after them and keep you accountable and give you some support.
So you're telling me you actually have conversations, you're asking those questions, and you're going deep with your clients to really dig what they can't really find themselves. And that's if you're in business, that's what you have to do as well. If you are in the insurance business, I always say, I want to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. So we have to find the information. I want to teach and educate. That's what allows you to educate others as well on their path of whatever goals that they're trying to achieve. And goals are so important to people. And if you're in fitness, if you're in sales, you're in business, you're going to have those goals, and that allows you to achieve big things. I love watching, and I'll pick on the real estate agents. A lot of real estate agents think, oh, I'm just going to put out there, I sold, 35 homes and I did $5 or $7 million, and they just put this out there. It doesn't matter. You want to up that. You want the next year, you want to have more. You want to have, the volume higher, etc. I don't really care. I know it's important to close business, but if you're a good person and you are, you work hard, you're going to achieve what you want to achieve. But if you sit back and do what everyone else is doing, you don't want to go against the grain and try different things, you're going to fail. But I'd rather fail trying, right?
That's right. That's
it's something important that you want to get. I always tell people, get out of your comfort zone. And doing a selfie, and I don't want to do a selfie. I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way talk about real video too. I don't like the way I sound. You have to put yourself in front of the camera so people get to know who you are, what you look like, because you can't change it. You might have a meeting the next day. What's going to happen to your face after in the next 24 hours? Come on.
Right. Right. Yeah. And that was definitely something that, honestly, right, I had to get over for sure. Putting my face out there and just being more visible on social media and sharing my story. I can't say I really had a problem sharing my story because I really just wanted it to help people, but just putting my face out there, I definitely had to get over that and just go for it.
And Sean Shallis said, nobody cares who you are. It's who you're being in the present moment.
Yeah.
Definitely is important to keep that in mind, guys.
Yeah.
Those that are watching, again, reminder, hit that share button, drop a comment. If you have questions for us, we're going to be wrapping up right now. So I want to ask Tracie, is there any final thoughts you can share with us today? Whatever you think.
Yeah, I would say to everybody out there, if you feel like you need to live a healthier lifestyle, just start. That's one thing. Start with the basics. Start with the simple things that we all know about. Drink more water, change your diet, get out there and get some movement. Even if it's like Sean said earlier, just starting with a walk, a bike ride, going up and down stairs, just start to get some movement. Do those basic things that we all know about and just get started and get moving and start to protect your health today.
And if you want to set up a discovery call with Tracie, I believe everyone can see it. How to get lean, fit, feel sexy, love the woman in the mirror without spending hours in the gym or to deprive yourself of food. Go to workwiththeresetcoach.com. Watch the video, schedule a time with her, and definitely someone to have a conversation with, because it's important to have that conversation, see if it's worth it or not. You could also call Tracie at 201-390-8760. And I want to thank Tracie for spending time with me today. I know there's lots of value. If those that are just jumping on now, wait till this uploads and please rewind, watch it. And if you have any questions, if you love some things that we talked about, drop it in the comments below. And the biggest compliment that we all would get is getting you to share our live. So please don't forget to share the live message, send it out to Messenger, and make sure that others can get to know who we are. So Tracie, thanks so much.
Thank you,
and
Sean.
I hope you have an awesome rest of your day. We'll be back in touch and we'll see you soon.
All righty. Thank you.
Have a great day.
As well. You too.